Don't try anything you're about to see at home.
3, 2, 1, let's go!
In this souped-up series of MythBusters,
there's so many things that could go wrong right now.
the team is taking it to the test track.
If I knew what was going to happen, we wouldn't be doing the test.
To tackle everything from fuel economy,
Your results may differ.
to stunts,
Get out, get out, get out!
and speed.
Let's drive!
They're throwing it in reverse, slamming the brakes, and driving downright dangerously
I'm gone in a puff of smoke.
so you don't have to. Get ready to uncover the truth about automotive legends and myths. Buckle up for Motor MythBusters Test Track.
And away we go.
In this program,
We totally didn't expect that result.
the team hits the road, exploring every which way
Yeah, boy!
to limit the gas guzzle.
I'm getting to like this drive.
Adam and Jamie test the effects of AC
It's going to be cold in here.
versus windows down,
And I hope we've answered it once and for all.
whether dropping the tailgate
I'm expecting to start sputtering any second now.
also drops your mileage,
Yeah, it's definitely out. I'm keying it off, over.
and if a muddy motor car
Wow, that really was dirty.
can run farther than its clean counterpart.
I feel like eating my beret.
While Carrie, Grant, and Tori put their lives on the line
Oh, you were totally in our blind spot.
to investigate the myth that drafting uses less gas.
Oh my God, that was crazy.
With world oil prices on the rise, everyone's looking for ways to save pennies at the pump. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines for fuel efficiency myth number 1.
So is this really an urban legend, Jamie?
No, it's more of an urban puzzle.
Like one of those things you would discuss endlessly sitting in traffic or debate on a road trip?
Yeah, the idea is that on a really hot day, it's more efficient to run with your air conditioning on full blast and your windows up than it is to drive with the windows down and the AC off.
Well, that seems pretty logical. That seems right to me.
I don't know about that. AC uses an awful lot of power.
Oh, I think a car with the windows open is creating an awful lot of drag.
That's what makes it a perfect test for MythBusters.
And that would be us.
That would be us.
All right.
To test this one, the guys are taking it straight to the track.
We're at the Altamont Raceway, and we're going to test whether it's more efficient to drive with your AC on or with the windows open.
Auto computer gurus Bob and Jesse are helping out with the test. This computer will measure fuel consumption by monitoring the rate of airflow through the SUV's engine.
This was going to calculate our average miles per gallon. This is our estimated miles per gallon.
We've got a computer hooked up to the car. We're going to do 15 laps, 5 with the windows up, 5 with the windows down, and 5 with the windows up and the AC on full. And we're going to see if the computer shows us a significant difference in the mileage of the car under those conditions.
So it's all systems go.
All right, on my countdown, in 5, 4.
3, 2, 1, go.
The first 5 laps will measure fuel consumption with the windows up and the AC off. Now, this won't be a leisurely Sunday drive. SUVs aren't designed for racetrack handling. Their tires certainly aren't. Also, the track is banked, and Jamie will have to concentrate all the way.
Jamie's going to hate this a lot more than I am. I mean, I'm not going to find it pleasant, but I get so much pleasure out of his discomfort. You know, Jamie, they regularly pull 160 miles per hour on this track. I'm not going to be laughing in a couple minutes when I'm plowing one of these behemoths across the lanes.
Jamie keeps the needle hovering at around 55 miles an hour. After 5 laps with the windows up, the fuel consumption figures are in.
Right now we're averaging 11.7 miles to a gallon.
Now it's time to roll the windows down.
Repeat, roll the windows down.
Looks like we're averaging about 11.4 to 11.3 with all the windows down in the vehicle.
Jamie, you're doing great. You're a tribute to American individualism.
Wish I could see his face right now.
That it would be completely impassive. You wouldn't see a single change on it. That's windows up and AC on. Repeat, windows up and AC on. This is the last 5 laps.
We're average 11.7. Still averaging 11.7.
Jamie gets the checkered flag, but that SUV is no NASCAR.
All right, so what was the difference in actual miles per gallon?
With the windows up and the AC on, it was right around 11.7 and 11.8. With the AC on and off, it didn't make a difference that much.
All right.
With the windows down, it was 11.3, and that's where it's making a difference at with the drag of the wind.
Wow, okay, that seems pretty significant over a full tank of gas.
Oh, yeah, big time.
So clearly it's more efficient to drive with the windows up and the air conditioning on than to drive with the windows down.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what the computer said.
So that's that all figured out? Not quite. There's still a question mark. See, those figures are based on a computer model. That model assumes ideal conditions. Adam and Jamie like to test things out for themselves. That's why they're doing the average Joe test. With 2 identical SUVs, they're weighing the onboard crew
Okay, everybody from Jamie's car, come on, get on the scale.
and adding weight to the lighter vehicle so they have 2 identical payloads.
Everybody in Adam's car, let's get weighed in. Come on.
One SUV has the AC on, and one has the windows down. The logic is simple. The vehicle that uses the most gas will stop first.
These cars are out of gas. We're putting in exactly 5 gallons in each car, and we're gonna drive them until they run out.
It's gonna be cold in here.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Roger that, starting now.
Roger, starting. Get ready.
And away we go.
For safety, Adam and Jamie will stick to 45 miles an hour. Jamie's gray SUV has the AC on full and the windows up. Adam's vehicle has the aircon off and the windows down. 5 gallons of gas in each. Which will stop first?
We are cruising at 45 miles per hour.
Round and round they go. Where they stop, nobody knows.
It's getting pretty chilly in here. Glad I brought my coat. I pity the poor cameraman who doesn't have one on. It's kind of hard on your neck going around like this.
Remember, kids, this test is being done by professional drivers on a closed track. Your results may differ.
The computer test showed that blasting the AC was more fuel efficient than driving with the windows down. But what's this? Jamie's AC-cooled SUV is slowing down.
Yeah, I'm coasting now.
Jamie's car just crapped out, and mine's still going strong. At 45 miles per hour, looks like it's more fuel efficient to drive with your windows down than with your AC on. I don't get it.
So, Adam, what do you think? Are you gonna keep running for another half hour or what?
I don't know. When I come in, I think we're just gonna have to bust this myth and say that the fuel efficiency's better with your windows down than with your AC on.
Yeah, that's sort of what the test says, isn't it? Over.
I would not have called that at all. I'm really surprised. I'm shocked, even.
30 laps later, Adam's naturally ventilated vehicle finally runs out of gas.
Oh, man. I feel like I'm leaving like this. That totally confounded my expectations.
There's no other way of interpreting it. We've gone over all of the facts of what went on here. I ran out first by running the AC.
Yeah, 15 miles ago. That's 30 laps that I did that you didn't do. I mean, I'm just like, I'm totally surprised, and I hope we've answered it once and for all.
Yeah, that's a significant difference in consumption, isn't it?
Let's go.
All right.
Windows versus AC, what's the verdict?
Well, the computer showed that it was actually better to run with the AC on. Not by much, but it was better.
I've got a little bit of a problem with that, which is the computer's actually measuring the airflow into the engine, not the fuel consumption of the engine. And it's basing its assessment on a computerized model under ideal circumstances.
Yeah, our average Joe test was pretty straightforward and kind of foolproof. You know, we put so much gas in, we ran for so long.
And it pretty definitively showed by almost 15% that running with the windows down was a lot more fuel efficient.
Yeah, that's a pretty significant difference.
So, AC being more fuel efficient, I'd say busted.
Busted.
Yeah.
Okay, so it makes a lot of sense to run your ride with the windows down. Keeping with the thrifty theme, the guys have another question up for consumption.
Well, it looks like we've got another driving fuel efficiency myth. This time, the myth is that driving your pickup truck with the tailgate down gives you better fuel efficiency than driving with it up.
I've been driving a pickup for the past 10 years, and I live it up.
Well, we're going to find out whether or not you've been wasting money, which I know you hate to do.
Is tailgate down really more efficient than tailgate up? Adam and Jamie have decided to up the ante on their average Joe test. They're going to drive to the desert and back to see who runs out of gas first. The MythBusters have acquired 2 identical new pickups.
Want to check out your mileage?
Each vehicle has done the same mileage, has the same tire pressure,
35.
will be carrying the same weight,
Hey! Whoa. 226.8.
226.8.
and to ensure equal fuel consumption,
You really had to go.
Grant has even devised a set of driving rules.
There you go.
Number 1, you must maintain the legal speed limit. Number 2, all acceleration must be done by the cruise control. Number 3, no drafting, so you don't take advantage of any aerodynamic advantage. Number 4, windows up, and if you have air conditioning, it's got to be exactly the same in both cars. Any questions?
If the myth is true, then the truck with the tailgate up should be the first one to run out of gas. And away we go.
That's the theory, so it's time to put this pickup parable into practice. And Jamie's leading off with the tailgate up.
Drivers be advised, current speed limit is 50 miles per hour. Over. Roger that, I am cruise control at exactly 50 miles per hour.
I am also on cruise control at 50 miles an hour as well. Thank you.
The MythBusters are in for the long haul. These pickups are filled to the brim. That's over 30 gallons. It's going to be a hell of a trip. 6 hours and 300 miles later, they've hit the halfway mark. And so far, there's no discernible difference in gas consumption.
So how much gas did you use?
I'm just about at half a tank.
Yeah, I'm spot on at half.
These things are like behemoths in the tank department.
So the guys will catch some Z's until dawn breaks and then set off once more. If the myth is true, then tailgate up Jamie should run out of gas well before tailgate down Adam. But 8 hours and 200 miles later, there's a surprise in store.
I put the key in the vehicle, and the fuel gauge needle just doesn't do anything. I'm expecting to start sputtering any second now.
And sure enough, a couple of miles further on,
That's it. I just petered out. We're about 40 miles outside of San Francisco, just at the Altamont Pass, and I just finally ran out of gas with the tailgate down.
as Adam refuels to get home, tailgate Jamie carries on. Remember that these cars are carbon copies and they were driven in an identical way. Yet, remarkably, tailgate up runs dry nearly 30 miles further down the track.
Yeah, it's definitely out. I'm keying it off, over.
Because it's another counterintuitive result, Adam and Jamie head back to base to delve deeper.
I don't think we're done testing this. I think we have to actually come up with a way to visualize
how the air moves around the truck. I'm just not sure how we should do it.
Well, rather than build a gigantic wind tunnel, maybe we should do what NASA does and build a water tunnel kind of version in miniature.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Thanks to NASA, they're building a donut-shaped tank that'll have water flowing around it, courtesy of an outboard engine. Within the main current will sit a scale model pickup truck. Once it's filled with water, they'll add oats to the flow and show the amount of drag created by the tailgate up and tailgate down, respectively.
Okay. That ought to make it work fine.
And straight away, the oats provide a clear picture of the tailgate's impact on the vehicle's aerodynamics.
The vortex there that's in the bed of the truck is gathering oats slowly, but at a very sort of steady, measured pace. And you can see they're mostly just staying there in that pocket.
That's what's known as a separated bubble. It deflects the oncoming wind over the raised tailgate.
All right, I'm gonna drop the tray down and we'll see if we can spot any difference.
Okay.
I think what I see is that it's gathering them at a much faster rate. And it's right about here. They're hitting this critical point where I can see them kind of falling off and joining in with their friends.
The lowered tailgate bursts the separated bubble, so the wind is pulled down right onto the truck bed, creating big-time drag. It really is a less efficient way to drive.
Well, I don't know what else we can do. I mean, we've got our own experimental data that verifies that it's better to drive with your pickup tailgate up than it is down.
I just wouldn't have guessed that. It's totally surprising.
What are you gonna do?
While Adam and Jamie figure out what to do next, Grant, Carrie, and Tori are getting up close and personal with what may be the most dangerous approach to saving a few bucks at the gas pump.
You guys heard of drafting?
Oh, that's when you try to get up as close as possible behind a trailer of a big rig to save fuel.
Yeah, the idea is that the big rig slices through the air, creates a low-pressure zone in its wake, and you need less fuel to move your car.
Dude, I've always wanted to try it, but I just never had the nerve. I was afraid that the driver was going to slam on the brakes.
Following a big rig dangerously close may sound insane, but can it save you money? The theory is the closer you tailgate a truck, the more you'll decrease the drag of air resistance, and the more fuel you'll conserve.
Before we go full size with this myth, I think we ought to do a few small-scale tests just to see if there's anything going on behind the big rig aerodynamically.
If we're gonna test aerodynamics, I know NASA has a wind tunnel. I'd be happy to call them and see if they'll work with us.
Yep, for this one, the team are going on side with the big guns, NASA. Although it doesn't look all that space-aged, this tunnel can simulate winds at highway speeds.
That is great. Look at that.
Armed with a model big rig, they first need to find out if the mythical area of low resistance behind the truck actually exists.
And the idea is that the wind flowing through here is very even and steady. We're gonna blow smoke through over our model big rig, and if we see that smoke collecting at the back end, that indicates a low pressure zone.
With a high-speed camera primed to capture the action, it's all systems go for the smoke and wind. To the naked eye, it's hard to see a pattern, but things become crystal clear on the high speed. There's an obvious dead zone, a protected area where the oncoming smoke doesn't reach, sheltering any following car from drag.
Smoke was gathering behind the truck, which proves to us that there is a low-pressure area. What we're going to do now is take a car in the same scale as the truck, attach it to a force gauge, and then see what kind of effect that low pressure has on the car.
But just before that, the team first needs a baseline. So the truck is removed from the track to see what the force of the oncoming wind is like on the car alone. With the smoke off, it may look like nothing's happening, but the wind is roaring past the car at over 50 miles an hour. And Grant gets a reading.
Okay, so it looks like we got a good baseline. Definitely. 0.142 pounds. And that is just the wind on the car alone.
So they now have a control. The question is, will the figure reduce with a semi protecting the airstream?
We're now a full 7 car lengths away. Do we have any drag whatsoever?
We have 21% drag reduction.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
So how about when the car gets dangerously close? First, they wind the truck in to decrease the distance to 5 inches, the equivalent of 10 feet if this were full scale.
All right, so we're at 10 feet. That's a 60% reduction in drag.
Whoa! That is insanity.
All right, we're at 6 feet away from the truck.
That is ridiculous.
I don't think I'd want to drive that close to the back of a truck. Let me tell you, you might want to reconsider. 80% reduction in drag. You'd definitely drive.
Let's go to the suicide zone.
All right, let's go to 2 feet. What are we reading? You know what's crazy? We're reading 93% reduction in drag. Are you serious? Yeah.
It's an astounding result. At 2 feet, drag is reduced almost completely.
That is amazing.
But would this actually translate to fuel savings on the open road? Well, there's only one way to find out. The team will have to go full scale and test this myth for real.
We should drive at different distances behind the truck. We'll start at 100 feet and move our way up to 2 feet and see if we save fuel as we get closer to the truck.
2 feet seems really dangerous. Who's gonna drive?
I think Grant should do it, because he just had his middle name legally changed to Danger.
Grant Dangery Mahara. I like the sound of that.
The MythBusters also like the look of the impressive beast they've lined up for their full-scale test at the Portland, Oregon headquarters of one of America's leading rig makers, Freightliner.
We've got this new Cascadia Freightliner here. It took 2,500 hours to shape the aerodynamics of this truck to make it the most fuel-efficient truck in the world. It's the brand new truck, and we're anxious to get it out on the track again and help you with that myth.
Test engineer Matt Markstaller knows drafting is extraordinarily dangerous due to the number of blind spots on a big rig. But he's agreed to help out under controlled conditions, which include a thorough workout for Grant under the tutelage of Hollywood stuntman Mike Ryan.
We actually want to build all the way up to a 2-foot distance between us and the truck. How dangerous is something like that?
Definitely something you don't want to encourage people to do. I mean, I think the statistic is about 3/4 of all the truck accidents in the world that involve a car and a semi-truck that have a fatality were caused by the person driving the car. It's pretty scary.
It sure is scary. So before tailgating an 18-wheeler, Grant first learns the ropes on something a little less intimidating. And to help keep an eye on the distance, fender to fender, an electronic tape measure is mounted on the roof.
Going up on the trunk lock.
Grant, you're awesome.
Thanks.
You're doing it nice and smoothly. Good. So Grant's thinking maybe it's time to try it with the truck.
He's ready. We're ready.
Grant's taken to stunt driving like a duck to water. But with the big rig test just round the corner, he's cramming in all the lessons he can.
It's crazy. This would be a crazy thing to do.
While Grant contemplates the level of crazy, Tori decides to make his mark.
So what I'm gonna do right now is put a line across the track. That's gonna be their starting point. Then I'm gonna drive down 1/4 of a mile, put another mark. Then we're gonna have a 1/2 mile to see how much fuel is being used.
It's on this 1/2 mile of track that the team will measure Grant's fuel consumption while he tailgates. And that's test engineer Andrew Smith's department.
What we've got here is our data acquisition system, and we're hooked up to the fuel injection system. In fact, what we're doing is exactly the same as if we were physically measuring the fuel that's going to the engine. We're recording all of that, and we can compare when we're behind the big rig and when we're not.
Once the fuel gauge is in place, Grant will make several runs behind the rig at 55 miles per hour, working his way incrementally from 100 feet down to 2 feet. But first up, it's the baseline.
This will be our control test. I'm going to drive along. We're going to measure data for 1/2 mile. I'll see how much fuel I'm using with nothing in front of me.
And with Andrew riding shotgun, Grant moves into position.
Okay, approaching drag strip. Holding at 55. Still holding at 55. Approaching the stop. That's it.
Andrew crunches the numbers, and it turns out that driving at 55 miles per hour on the test track gave a fuel consumption of 32 miles per gallon. Will drafting really cause an increase in MPG?
We're gonna do it at 100 feet, 50 feet, 20 feet, 10 feet, and 2 feet, which I consider somewhat suicidal if you were driving on the highway.
3, 2, 1, go.
Grant starts out at a distance of 100 feet behind the truck. But even this is considered to be in the danger zone, according to most road authorities, who recommend keeping at least 150 feet between vehicles traveling at 55 miles an hour.
Crossing the finish line now.
Okay, so that was a good run at 100 feet, maintained a constant distance at 55 miles per hour.
And the result is pretty dramatic. With 100 feet between car and rig, fuel consumption improved by over 10%. Next, Grant gets back up to 55 miles an hour and closes the gap to 50 feet.
We're gonna hold this speed. You can collect your data now.
With this sized gap, fuel consumption improved by 20% on the control. Grant moves in even closer to 20 feet. This is starting to get hairy.
Starting to approach that blind spot. I can't see him from you.
At 20 feet, the slipstreaming effect of tailing the truck has improved fuel efficiency by an amazing 27%. But what about tailgating a big rig at 10 feet?
I think if you were gonna try to draft a big rig at 10 feet behind them, you are completely mental.
Even in a controlled situation, it's really, really scary.
We're ready.
All right, let's go in 3, 2, 1, go.
Go. 35. Okay, we've hit 55. We're holding steady.
He's completely in our blind spot, and we can't see him at all.
The recommended driver reaction time for this speed is 2 seconds, meaning 150 feet between vehicles.
We're still with you.
At 10 feet, Grant's reaction time is down to almost 1/10 of a second.
Sweet driving, Grant.
Okay, returning to the start.
It may be madness, but the stats don't lie. With a distance of 10 feet between car and truck, fuel efficiency improves by almost 40%. But this myth ain't over yet, as Grant prepares to draft at the insane distance of 2 feet. At 2 feet, one miscalculation would be catastrophic.
This is it. The car is 2 feet behind the truck, and they're going to be traveling at 55 miles an hour. I mean, this is nuts.
I'm a little freaked out right now. I mean, we did a lot of training, but that was with the minivan. This is a big rig.
All right, you ready? Let's do it.
All right, man. I'll see you on the other side.
It was nice knowing you.
What's not nice knowing is if the rig has to stop suddenly, Grant will have 3/100ths of a second to react. That's faster than the blink of an eye.
2, 1, go.
Okay, here we go.
Can't even see Grant.
Just hit 55. What's your 20, little buddy?
We're 3 feet out and closing, just bringing it on in.
We are locked into the 2-foot.
Oh, you are totally in our blind spot, completely riding us.
At the wheel of the big rig, Matt can't see Grant's vehicle at all.
That is crazy. Yeah, boy.
And we just crossed it.
Nicely done.
Oh my God. That was crazy. I mean, how much gas am I gonna save?
Well, the result comes with a twist. Up until now, every time Grant's vehicle moved closer, fuel economy increased. But at 2 feet, it went down.
The fuel economy actually dropped off a little bit. And I think the reason was there was such little air drag at that point. It was so hard to keep that 2 feet distance that you were always kind of feathering the throttle, getting on the throttle, backing off. And so that actually hurts fuel economy. You want a really steady foot.
So apart from nervous footwork on the accelerator when Grant drove like a maniac, it looks like drafting, as dangerous as it is, does improve fuel efficiency after all. But really, it's just not worth risking your life for.
Dude, nice job. You got nerves of steel.
Thanks. You know, it was really intense, but we got a great result.
You know what? Surprisingly, at 2 feet behind the truck, it was less fuel efficient because it's so difficult trying to keep that distance between you and the truck.
Difficult and crazy.
But did you know that even driving at 100 feet is dangerous? Our researchers found that at 55 miles an hour, the minimum safe stopping distance you should allow is 150 feet.
All right, so what are we going to call this one?
I think we have to call this one confirmed. You do save fuel drafting behind a big rig.
But it's absolutely not worth your life.
Some folks are so frugal they'll try anything to save the green. And for their final fall into fuel economy folklore, Adam and Jamie have decided to get down and dirty.
You'll like this. It's called Dirty versus Clean Car, and it's another fuel efficiency myth. The myth is that a dirty car is more fuel efficient than a clean car because the dirt creates some kind of golf ball-like effect on the surface of the car, somehow making it more aerodynamic and thus more fuel efficient.
That's not bad.
I thought you'd like it.
Could a coating of crud really alter the aerodynamics of your car and give you better fuel efficiency? For this one, they'll use just one car and test it both clean and dirty.
I'm sitting on our test platform. This average American four-door sedan will be what we're testing the clean versus dirty car myth, and it is the only car we are using, i.e. we're gonna do all of our tests using only this car, some of them clean, some of them dirty, and measuring how much fuel it uses for each test.
With the wheels sorted out, the MythBusters hit the test track to jumpstart this myth. A myth where accuracy is everything.
This test is all about precisely measuring the amount of fuel used by this car. Now, to do that, we bypassed the normal fuel system and installed our own. This is our tank. The fuel comes out the bottom, it goes into the fuel pump and right into the fuel injection system. Now, when we get up to 65 miles an hour and we cross the starting line, Adam moves the arrow to the fuel level at that point. When we finish a mile later, he moves the other arrow to where the fuel's at that point. That's how we're measuring the gas consumed.
And with the mile marked out, they can get their hands dirty.
This story is all about whether a dirty car gets better mileage than a clean car. So to do the test, we need a dirty car.
Get down there. Yeah.
They're following that old MythBusters adage that if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. Only there's a problem.
This is nice and dirty, but can't see very well from inside.
With the dirty car sitting pretty, it's time to find out what its muddy mileage is.
All right, go for it.
Okay.
And just give me a boop when you cross over that start line, okay?
Okay. And boop.
And you're maintaining speed, right?
Exactly at 65.
For consistency, the guys run the dirty car down the track 5 times at a highway speed of 65 miles per hour every time.
3 and 7/8. All right, here we go.
And then Adam converts the inches into miles per gallon.
All right, so we ran this dirty car on a course that was exactly a mile long, every single time at precisely 65 miles per hour, and the results are pretty consistent. Averaged out over all the runs, I'm coming up with a fuel efficiency of exactly 24 miles to the gallon.
Dirty car, 24 miles per gallon, huh?
That's correct. Let's clean it up.
All right.
24 miles per gallon seems reasonable. But now for some good, clean fun. They're getting rid of the grime for the clean car comparison test.
Wow, that really was dirty.
But one shampoo and scrub ain't gonna ditch the dirt.
Let's go through one last time.
6 car washes and some Heinemann buffing later, the car is spotless. But Jamie's not so sure about the myth.
I'm not much for conventional wisdom, but if the theory is correct, that means all those shiny airplanes and shiny cars zooming around out there missed the boat somehow. I don't think so.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Everything's ready to go?
Clean car, we're good to go.
Just like last time, the clean car takes 5 trips down the mile-long track.
And boop.
Got it.
Boop.
Oh, more data points.
Filling full of unleaded.
I'm getting to like this drive.
Yeah, it's kind of familiar now.
So check this out. Half of our runs were 3 5/8 inches. Half of the runs were at 3 1/2. That means I can do the average in my head. It's 3 9/16. I love consistent data.
And with all that consistent data, it doesn't take Adam long to crunch the numbers.
So the results are in, and here they are. The dirty car got an average of 24 miles to the gallon, while the clean car got an average of 26.4 miles to the gallon. I'm gonna spell it out for you and make it really clear. The clean car did better.
Well, that didn't work too well.
Nope. Dirty car was far less efficient than the clean car. I don't know what to do.
Well, isn't this myth about golf ball-like effects on a car?
Yeah.
Well, why don't we have a closer look at golf ball-like effects on a golf ball?
And then see how that might apply to a real car.
Exactly.
I love it. Let's do it.
Okay.
So before they give up on the dirty car myth,
It's a squirrel, get him.
they're hitting the Moffett field links in the name of research. So just how much of a difference do those dimples make? To find out, they'll need the perfect swing. Something Adam hasn't quite mastered yet. So for a top-notch drive, the MythBusters have enlisted pro golfer William Lim.
So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to hit one dimpled, one smooth, one dimpled, one smooth. We have a fairly large sample size. We'll get the results and average them.
William alternates between driving the regular and smooth balls.
I claim this golf ball in the name of MythBusters.
The only difference being the dimpling. In every other respect, they're identical.
The smooth one feels like hitting a brick.
I swapped it out when you weren't looking.
But it's not all fun and games. The important thing here is the science.
Oh, first of all, William, nice shooting.
Thank you.
These are all really tightly clustered. But you'll notice the smooth balls are all here. Dimpled balls way down that way.
Looks almost twice as far to me.
Yeah, at least. It's clear those dimples make a huge difference.
I'll be darned.
And just how much of a difference?
Smooth balls, 556 feet. Dimpled balls, 893 feet.
That's an average of 37% further for the dimpled balls.
The dimples obviously work.
So they need to put the theory into practice on a vehicle. But how exactly do you dimple a car without ruining it?
So this 1,000 pounds of clay is hopefully our solution to dimpling this car. In order to do that, we need to start by covering the entire body in a perfectly even layer of clay. So we went to the automotive design department of a local design college and conscripted some of the students to assist us in this endeavor. We're going to set up a whole assembly line. Some people are going to be cutting slabs of clay, all the same thickness. Some people are going to be applying it. Some people are going to be smoothing the clay that's already applied. And hopefully, by the end of the day, we're going to have a car that looks just like this, except this color.
Right, well, with the claymation in motion, it won't be long. But why clay?
We decided to use clay on this car because actually dimpling the car is rather difficult. An impact on the sheet metal of the car would make a big cavity rather than just a nice little divot. The divots we can do on the clay, and that'll happen after we do the test with it smooth.
And that's a whole lot of smoothing. But eventually,
6 guys, 850 pounds of clay, and 6 hours later, you've got a control car.
indeed. But the weight of the clay is expected to lower the car's fuel efficiency. So before any dimpling begins, they'll need a new control with its smooth mileage.
Here I am back at the start line of our 1-mile test track. At the other end, I've got a car covered with clay. I'm gonna run it several times down this track smooth, then I'm gonna carve some golf ball-like dimples into its surface and do several more runs. This test ought to answer once and for all whether golf ball-like dimples in a car makes it more fuel efficient.
Great, but this time they're doing things slightly differently.
This is going to be our test procedure. We've replaced the window-mounted gas tank with a trunk-mounted fuel cell, which we will weigh before we do the test.
10.056 kilograms of fuel.
We'll get up to 65 miles per hour using our regular fuel tank, and when we hit the start line,
Right here,
we'll switch to the fuel cell. When we cross the finish line,
1 mile later,
we turn off the fuel cell, we weigh it again, and then we determine the miles per gallon by the drop in weight of the fuel cell.
And with that sorted, it's go time for the smooth car.
Doing good for speed.
okay, I'm about to switch solenoids once we cross this mark, and bang, we're on the aux tank.
Luckily for the MythBusters,
seems like it's holding together well.
Yeah.
the clay car is pottery in motion.
All right, hands on the fuel cell. Now.
And after 5 runs, what's the magic mileage number?
9.553 kilograms. 26 miles to the gallon. Exactly the same as the car with no clay on it. I love it. I got a point I want to make because I can hear the complaint that you might have. I can hear it through the TV. You're thinking, how can 800 pounds of clay added to the outside of the car not change its fuel efficiency? But you're thinking about it wrong. See, we're not measuring the overall real-world fuel efficiency of this car. We're measuring it under very precise conditions, i.e. at 65 miles an hour for exactly 1 mile. Now, I grant you, with the clay on the car, it probably burned more fuel to get up to that speed, but that doesn't concern us. We expected to see no change with the clay on, and the data bore that out.
And speaking of boring things out,
we need to make a bunch of dimples all over this car, and you'd think we'd want to have something like a melon baller, but they actually don't work too well on clay. So I came up with my own tool. It's this thing right here. It's a wire that you rotate, and works pretty well. And there you go, dimple.
thanks to Jamie's divot device, the dimples are simple. And we're compressing thousands of depressions into only 30 seconds. And the final result?
This is lovely.
That's one dimpled car. If ever there was a car that looked like a golf ball, this is it, huh?
The dimpled car is an unmistakably MythBusters, unmistakably over-engineered take on the golf ball effect.
I haven't seen anything like that before, anywhere.
All the different ways we discussed how to do this, different tools and different materials, nothing I was thinking about when we first started positing how to do this looked this good.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I can see it now. All the NASCARs are going to be looking like this. What do you think?
Maybe, Jamie, but that all depends on how well it does.
This is by far one of the stranger things we've ever built. And to my mind, actually one of the most beautiful, and not aesthetically either. I mean, to me, the beauty here is that we've taken the phrase golf ball-like effect on the car to the furthest possible point. No one can accuse us of not going far enough. Is this treatment going to translate to better fuel efficiency? I really don't think so.
Adam's got his doubts, but before they test, there's one thing to make clear.
But Adam, I hear you say, you cut out 1,082 dimples worth of clay. That significantly lightened the weight of the car, and that might translate to better fuel economy. Ye of little faith. For look here. We have every dimple we've cut out of this car, and into the back. It goes. We thought of everything.
Yep, everything. But will those dimples make a dent in the fuel consumption?
9,450 grams. That's our start weight.
Well, by now you know the drill.
Main tank solenoid is on. Let's go, Dimple car! Now! This thing really is lovely.
Looks better from a distance.
5 runs at 65 miles per hour, and it's over to Adam to crunch the numbers.
8,972 grams. All right, time to do a little math.
What'd you get?
Okay, So, the clean car without any clay on it was 26 miles per gallon and change. The clay car with no dimples was 26 miles per gallon and change. The dimpled car, 29.65 miles to the gallon. There is a golf ball-like effect.
I feel like eating my beret, but I'm not gonna.
That's awesome. We totally didn't expect that result.
If we had to bet, and not being a betting person, I didn't, but if we had to bet, we would have both said, if anything, this would get poorer mileage. Like, you know, we should have gotten something like the dirty car did.
That's the coolest thing ever.
And that result has got both Mythbusters boggled. It flies in the face of conventional car wisdom that a smooth, streamlined surface reduces drag. Although the dimples are a long way from the dirty car and its coating of crud, it goes to show a rough surface can more than deliver.
If it works for a golf ball, it ought to work for a car. But somehow I didn't think it was going to be that easy. You can say what you want, though. I mean, the fact is it worked. In fact, it gave us an 11% improvement, and that's significant.
It kind of makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, what does it all mean? Where does this leave our original myth that a dirty car will get better fuel economy than a clean car? Well, that myth is cleanly busted. But the theory behind that myth, as stated in the original myth, that there is some kind of golf ball-like effect that will help the car get better fuel efficiency, we actually found a golf ball-like effect that helps the car get better fuel efficiency. Strangely, I think we call this one myth busted, concept plausible.
I was pretty impressed how well that worked.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do it to my car anytime soon.
Well, the clay'd fall off after a while.
Our miserly Mythbusters will try anything to save a buck. If penny pinching is your thing too, it's best to put the windows down before cranking the aircon up. You can go ahead and leave that tailgate up too. And don't forget to run your car through the car wash before your next road trip. But please leave drafting to the professionals at the test track.